The 2024 AI Expo Korea will kick off in Seoul tomorrow, drawing thousands of AI experts, companies, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. The Expo, Asia's biggest single AI event, will explore the latest state-of-the-art AI technology and foster collaborative discussions on its profound impact on industries worldwide. Among the participants are distinguished scholars and AI leaders from Canada, a country that's fast becoming a new hub of AI research and development. On today's Within the Frame, we delve into the boundless potential of artificial intelligence, the dynamics of global competition and cooperation, and also touch upon pressing issues surrounding AI ethics and regulation. To help us navigate through the complexities in the field of AI, we have Andrew Lim, Research and Innovation Attaché at the Québec Government in Seoul, joining us in the studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
And to my right, we also have Dr. Liz Langlois, Director General at the International Observatory on the Societal Impacts of AI and Digital Technology, better known as UBVIA, joining us tonight. It's so great to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, let's start off with the Expo, and let's start off with you, Dr. Langlois. What will be the main focus of this year's event, and what are some of the key watch points?
Yes, at this day we will have AI now involved many sectors, and we will talk about deep learning, machine learning, and of course the NLP. So it will be, when we think about the AI Expo, it started 17, right now, and the Canada is involved since the beginning, and we bring some partners and startups and researchers during this AI Expo. My only concern during the AI Expo is we should open more about the ethical and social impacts, because it's a part of very important right now. And in Canada, we elevate awareness about this social impact. So it's really important. And I hope we will see this side of AI during the AI Expo.
So it sounds like it'll offer a one-stop glance at numerous AI technologies poised to reshape our future, but there needs to be more discussions on AI ethics and regulations, and we'll get to more details on that as we move on. But before that, taking a closer look at some of the innovative AI technologies, Andrew, give us the latest scoop on AI tech trend and products?
Yes, so this is a very good question. I've been a tech nerd all my life. I mean, AI is a core part of that. And you probably saw on the news a lot these days, there's a lot of big trends with AI. I mean, some of the things we've seen with Elon Musk, you saw his Optimus robot. Obviously, Optimus Prime, the name comes from Transformers, which I also used to enjoy when I was a kid too. Exactly. So you've seen a lot of these advancements, maybe even like 3-4 years ago, robots, they didn't move like humans, they didn't have the dexterous capacity. But now with AI, with generative AI, a lot of the foundational models that allow the robots to learn from amounts like data from everywhere. So they're now somewhat able to move like humans. You probably saw some of the clips on YouTube, for example. There's also the OpenAI, of course you've heard of them, with Figure, or I would say Figure One, their robot as well. You probably saw a clip recently, it was able to decipher an apple, where it said, hey, can you please pick out something for me to eat? So it is able to understand with this generative AI foundational models, plus it's able to actually do work that normal humans could do. Because when we thought about robots before, we would see like logistical centers, some small cars moving around. But if we have actual humanoid robots that could work like humans, then they could just work in the environment humans already work in. We don't have to change infrastructure, just robots could work there. So one of the biggest things I see are automated vehicles plus robots, these kind of things too. But other cool tech that I've been following is, for example, AI and materials discovery. Like, you know, for example, maybe some pharmaceutical company wanted to invent some drugs for cancer, but this takes years of R&D. They have to find out about the protein markers, you know, cell membrane, et cetera, et cetera. So it takes a lot of time. But with the advent of AI, they're able to at least give you a head start. They're able to find the proper molecules, polymers, to give you, oh, these may be the best ones that you could actually test out in the lab. So then once they have that, instead of going through years and decades of research, they have some potential drugs right there with AI. So there's a lot of these cool things. One more thing is AI in games. So we've seen game technology, but it's still very linear. The characters still say the same things if you talk to it. But with AI, with generative AI, with NLP, if you are able to make a non-playing character come to life, I think that would really, really make the gaming industry flourish. So these are some of the things I've been looking for these days.
And could you also share with us your thoughts on what would be the next key battleground in the field of AI?
Yes. So a very good question. You probably heard of something called foundational models. So I'm pretty sure you've heard of generative AI. People are saying, hey, you could type on one of those generative AIs, I want a cat picture with this and this and that, and it'll give it to you. So this is based on what we call foundational models. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but basically foundational model is some sort of model that was able to get a lot of data and learn from it, like ChatGPT. That's a large language model, foundational model. But there's other ones like DALL-E for image, et cetera. So these kind of technologies, the foundation to be able to allow us to do things like with robots, talk to people, I think this is the next big thing, which I think people are starting to realize.
Well, given that the transformative power of AI has already left indelible marks across various sectors, the next wave of AI, perhaps some of the models that you mentioned, they certainly look like it'll permeate deeper into our lives, also changing the landscape of professions across the globe as well. And staying with you, Andrew, from your perspective, how would you evaluate South Korean firms' position in the global realms of generative AI or other pivotal AI technologies?
Yes, that's also a very good question. Obviously, Korea, other advanced countries, US, Canada, UK, they've been advancing their AI technology in very rapid speed for many reasons. They have the infrastructure, we have the education, there's government mandates and budgets, that's really good. But what Korea, I feel, Korean firms or Korea in general, I feel what they a little bit lack in is some of the fundamental research in AI, such as ML, machine learning, deep learning, or some of the foundational models. So I mentioned foundational models because they're important. Korea might have just a few. Like America has hundreds, China has a lot too. I mean, America is the powerhouse of AI, so they have these kind of technology, but in terms of those very pivotal technology, I think Korea is quite lacking behind. Having said that, other statistics, Korea in the stock exchange, they may, I think from what I know from Korea Times, they have maybe 6 or 7 AI-related companies only on the stock exchange, whereas US, like 172, China lots. So Korea is also falling behind in this regard, but there's good news for Korea too. Korea, as everyone knows, the economy is dominated by conglomerates or chaebols, I'm sure you know, Samsung, LG, and whatnot, and they have the capital power. So some of the jobs that we do at the Quebec office is we often introduce them to this kind of new Quebec or Canadian tech. It could be quantum or, for this case, AI. So quite often they look over this technology. And sometimes they invest, sometimes they might buy the service or the product. So what Korea, I think, does best is they have the capital, they have the name, so that most Quebecois or Canadians who come here with tech, they're like, can we meet Samsung? Can we meet LG? So that we could collaborate with them. So I think that's the biggest strength that Korea has. They're able to scour the world, kind of a little bit go shopping, and then bring it all together and use it for their purpose. I think that is something Korea does one of the best in the world.
And another big strength of Korean firms is AI chips, right?
Yes.
And it was definitely reflected in Samsung Electronics' first quarter earnings that was released today. The company's operating profit jumped by a whopping 930%.
Yes.
And this on explosive AI chip demand. And so hopefully we'll see more advancements in other AI technologies as well, perhaps by improving fundamental research, as you suggested. And Dr. Lung-Loa, Canada has emerged as the global hub of AI research and development, recently attracting immense capital, companies, as well as talents. Big name tech heavyweights like Google, NVIDIA, and Samsung, they all have established an AI research lab in Canada. What about Canada do you think is drawing them?
Yeah, Quebec is the one of the world's most dynamic AI ecosystem, with all the players working closely to make AI lever for economic and social development. Also, Quebec ranks 5th in the world for the quality and reputation of AI research, ahead of Great Britain, Germany, and Israel. As a pioneer of the field of operation research of deep learning, Quebec researchers are making a name for themselves on the international stage. Also, we work with the AI development, fundamental AI development, but in 2019, we were very concerned about the ethical aspects. So we work with population to find values that can orient AI development. So we built an ethical charter called Declaration of Montreal. And after that, the Scientific Council, National Scientific Council of Quebec, Fonds de Recherche du Québec, they launched a contest to create an international observatory dedicated to the social aspect. So we can see in the ecosystem right now with the AI researcher and the social scientists and humanities and health sector, engineering, they work together to have this collaborative approach to understand what is the social impact and how we can integrate the ethical reflection in the design and the development and the deployment of AI. So for us, it's really, really important. We have also the Pan-Canada strategy. And this new strategy, they brings the chair of excellence of research. Most of them are in Quebec right now. So it's really important. We have talents and the possibility to orient AI for the benefits of society.
Wow, Quebec being the 5th in the world, that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
And I hear that many AI pioneers around the world are also quite impressed by the incredible pool of talents in Canada as well. Now, Andrew, South Korea and Canada are seeking deeper cooperation in the field of AI. Can you provide some examples of their collaborative efforts and also highlight on some of the significant joint AI projects?
Yes, thank you for asking, because this directly pertains to my work, obviously, so thank you for that. But before I begin, a sector like AI, it's extremely important that people work together, especially internationally. I mean, in terms of limited data, for example, you could, like South Korea would have a certain type of data, maybe that Canada doesn't have, for example. So data sharing, this kind of thing is very important in AI, hence international collaboration. So some of the key things I've done, like in my actual work, is, for example, there is a accelerator called Seoul AI Hub. They're under the Seoul government, so they get their entire from the Seoul government. And they're what you could call like kind of accelerator and incubator. So they have their member AI startups from Seoul, and they have programs to incubate that, sessions, pitch days. They invite venture capitalists to hear about them. So that's really good. So we've been partnering with them, and just recently we signed a partnership agreement with the largest AI institution in the world, which is called Mila. And it's also based in Montreal. And it has, I think currently the numbers are, they have over 1,000 researchers. So it's probably the biggest in the world. So the partnership is that Seoul AI Hub will send their startups to Mila for 4 months. So the Seoul startup Koreans, they will actually live there for 4 months and do their research. But through this, it's because Seoul and the world realizes there's a lot to learn from Quebec. But what's also interesting here is when we were doing the selection process, generally, if I was the person selecting these startups, you could imagine, oh, can you speak English? Do you have the ability to do international research? Those are the typical stuff. But what was really impressed about Mila, because they also have some say in who to pick. And as Dr. Langlois mentioned, when Mila was trying to select them, they weren't really asking about their technical expertise too much, a little bit of how mature your AI is, but they're asking about things like, your AI stuff, if we help, what kind of social impact will it have? As in like a good one. So the ones that they think will really help society, they're the ones who got picked. So I think this is kind of the difference in the culture that we see. Yes, Canada, Quebec, they're good at the tech stuff too, but some of the ethical, social impacts, will it help society? I think these kind of things are what really brings Quebec and Canada in the forefront in AI.
So this boosted cooperation, AI cooperation between South Korea and Canada, hopefully it'll be a win-win for both countries.
Yes.
But from your answer, we could sense that Canada takes AI ethics and regulation and societal impact much more seriously than most other countries, which leads us to our next question, Dr. Lenglua. AI ethics and regulations are another key domain that will be discussed during this year's AI Expo Korea. Now, as an expert on AI ethics, policies, as well as impact on society, do you believe that the world is doing enough to safeguard against the potential threats of fast developing AI technology?
Yes, good question. When we place people at the heart of the technological development, I think we don't doing enough. So for us, we can see that in Europe we have regulation. In Canada, we will have a lot of reflection about the law to regulate AI, but we should have the technical norms, ethical norms, and legal norms. And the three of them, the three dimension is so important right now because, you know, the ethical side will say that what we can do to protect people about the privacy. The technical norm will say that what is the robustness and the safetiness in this AI system. So we need that to have these three aspects, and sometimes we just focus on the legal norms. So we have to open lens of the standard, but in USA we can see that the IEEE, they have standard norms. So it's really, really important, and it's changed the ecosystem right now for the enterprise, because I think we should put some pressure to adopt these standard norms, and also to have this ethical concern about what's going on. Because the law is more static, but the ethics follow the development, and they follow the context of society. So it's why it's so important to have it. But we are not doing enough, on my point of view.
Well, just to walk through some of the landmark steps that have been made by major countries for our viewers, the European Parliament has passed the groundbreaking AI Act, the world's first comprehensive set of AI regulations. And the US has also recently created what's called the AI Safety and Security Board. Many of its advisors are the big name AI pioneers like Jensen Huang and Sam Altman. But from your point of view, the world still is not doing enough. Still more needs to be done.
Because, you know, you have the law, but you need to think about the governance. And we should bring the global governance of AI, on my point of view. So, and we need to talk, to share, and with other countries. And it's why the model of global governance is so important in the issue that we can see in the population right now.
Right. And in related question, what are the most contentious issues currently in focus regarding AI ethics and AI regulations?
Yeah, I will name three. For me, three important ethical considerations. One of them, we don't talk a lot about the data worker. You know, we call that the click worker. The system need garbage in and garbage out. And to have this garbage in, we need quality of data. And to fabric this quality of data, we need workers. And usually this worker come from South country, vulnerable people, and refugee peoples. So they help to build the AI system. So they have no social protection, they have a low salary to do this job. So it's the dark side of AI, you know. So for me, it's a big issue when we never talk enough about this side of AI. to construct the quality of data. So it's something behind of the scene, and we have to look on this. We have another concern. It's about protect privacy. Right now, we can see that we have a surveillance and everything. We are not intimacy right now. So for me, it's another big concern. And the last one, and I think it's the Economic Forum of Davos, they talk about the higher risk. It's misinformation and democracy. So we can see the effect, the social effect of social media. You know, when the social media arrive, we never think about what's going on about misinformation, polarization, etc., etc. But now we are with this ethical concern right now. So misinformation and polarization of society. And when you see that next year, we will have 3 billion people expected to go to the pool in several countries. It's a lot. And we can see the effect of polarization and targeting people to influence the vote. So for me, it's a big ethical concern right now.
All right, the last question is also for you. Some argue that too much regulation stifles innovation. How can we strike the delicate balance between AI advancement and AI safety?
Yeah, another good question. You know, I heard a lot that the too much regulation, yes, stop innovation, but I think it's not true. We can innovate with regulation. We just have to find a way. And usually the industry said we need to have a free capacity to innovate, but you can innovate with regulation and ethical concern. You have just to find another innovation way to do what you have to do with AI systems. So for me, it's a false problem.
I think that was very neatly put. We can still innovate with regulations. We just need more discussions on it, right?
Yeah.
And we'll leave it there for tonight, but discussions will continue on the pressing issue. South Korea and the UK will in fact jointly host an AI summit in Seoul at the end of next month. So hopefully more discussions will be held on AI ethics and AI regulations as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Lung-Loa and Andrew, for sharing your valuable insights.
Yes, thank you.
And that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in same time tomorrow to join our conversation. Goodbye for now.